This is Daily Armenia, CivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Several high-ranking Armenian officials, including Interior Minister Vahe Hazyoran, Anti-Corruption Chief Sasun Hachitrian, and Supreme Judicial Council Chairman Karen Andreasyan, handed in their resignations over the weekend, as requested by the country's Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, who confirmed the news today. "I have requested the resignation of several high-ranking officials. This decision stems from the systemic failures I previously addressed publicly, rather than personal disagreements," Pashinyan wrote on Facebook, while also thanking the officials for their contributions. Other resigned officials include Infrastructure Minister Gnel Sanosyan, Investigative Committee Chairman Agishti Kiramian, and Rustam Barasyan, the Chief of the State Revenue Committee, Armenia's Tax and Customs Authority. This string of departures follows the harsh remarks Pashinyan voiced during a government session on Friday, when he criticized Armenia's law enforcement and judiciary for their lack of progress in fighting corruption and addressing systemic inefficiencies. "Some trials have been going for 7 years, and our citizens can't believe I'm not behind this ridiculousness," Pashinyan said, underscoring public disillusionment with the judiciary. He also lamented the lack of accountability, adding, "4 years ago, I said that those accused of corruption were spending their days partying in restaurants, and I'm repeating the same today. The public expects them to be held accountable, yet those who once looked down on others still continue to do so." Turning his attention to the police, Pashinyan highlighted enduring issues, stating, "Whenever I visit a village in Armenia, the locals tell me they are as afraid of each other as they were before the revolution." He further criticized both institutions for failing to deliver results despite significant government support. Pashinyan noted that when his administration took office, law enforcement and judicial officials claimed that inefficiencies were due to insufficient resources. However, after receiving all requested funding, these sectors still fall short of expectations, according to Pashinyan. US Senators Sheldon, Whitehouse and Ed Markey, who are attending the ongoing COP29 United Nations Climate Change Conference in Baku, said during a press conference held in the Azerbaijani capital yesterday that they support Armenia, calling for the release of Armenian prisoners from Azerbaijani captivity and the return of Armenians to Nagorno-Karabakh. "Senator Markey and I support Armenia, both of us. We are very regretful that the dislocation of so many Armenians has taken place. To put it mildly, I'm far from convinced that Armenians are to blame for that, and I don't want to dwell in the home of my hosts on human rights issues, but if that were to be the topic, I would not be very complimentary," Whitehouse said, responding to a question from an Azerbaijani reporter who asked him why the United States hasn't made efforts to sanction Armenia. "We believe that the political prisoners should be released, that there should be a right of return of Armenians to Nagorno-Karabakh, and that there should be a peace treaty between Azerbaijan and Armenia," Senator Markey said, adding that a transport link connecting mainland Azerbaijan with its Nakhchivan exclave should only be created with Yerevan's approval. A total of 60 US lawmakers, including Whitehouse and Markey, submitted an open letter to Secretary of State Antony Blinken last month, urging the US to press Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev to uphold human rights protections and release political prisoners ahead of the COP29 summit. Aliyev later rejected the letter, calling it a disgusting appeal that cannot influence Azerbaijan's will, and said it had been drawn up to threaten the country. Armenian armed forces are participating in the Olympic Cooperation 24 military exercises in Greece, alongside forces from 8 other nations, including France, Georgia and Cyprus, in a multinational drill focused on improving operational readiness and interoperability that will continue throughout the week, according to state news agency Armen Press. Other participating countries include Albania, Austria, Bulgaria and Jordan, alongside hosting nation Greece. The participating units are working on defensive and offensive tactical scenarios, including combat shooting exercises. This participation marks Armenia's ongoing shift in its military alliances, following a significant decision to suspend its participation in the Russian-led Collective Security Treaty Organization in 2023. Armenia took this step after the CSTO failed to intervene during Azerbaijan's invasion of Armenia's sovereign territory in September 2022, despite the alliance's treaty obligation to protect member states. Since then, Armenia has distanced itself from all CSTO military drills. In contrast, Yerevan's more recent military engagements include the joint US-Armenian Eagle Partner 2024 exercise. You can also watch our podcast featuring Daniel Ioannisyan of the Union of Informed Citizens NGO, who shared his assessment of the ongoing police reform and anti-corruption efforts in Armenia. Recorded before the resignations of Armenia's senior officials were reported, the conversation also touched upon the alarming traffic death crisis plaguing the country, exploring potential solutions and the political will, or lack thereof, to address this critical issue. You can watch the full podcast by following the link in the video description below. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 2. This is because Armenia's national football team secured second place in their UEFA Nations League group yesterday, defeating Latvia 2-1 away in its final fixture this year, which earned them a spot in the promotion playoffs. Despite being defeated twice by group leaders North Macedonia and failing to beat underdogs Faroe Islands, the team will now focus on advancing to the second tier of the biennial European competition. The opponent for the upcoming playoffs will be revealed on Friday. In addition to poor results, this year's national team agenda was marred by the sacking of Alexander Petrikov, the Ukrainian head coach, and a growing rift in Armenian football as the country's most decorated clubs, backed by major fan groups, are demanding the resignation of the Armenian Football Federation leadership. The demands are driven by concerns about the economic struggles of the local league, the lack of international progress, and the absence of Henrik Mkhitaryan, Armenia's star player from the national squad, reportedly due to a conflict with the FA chairman. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.